Alright, so now we're going to get into the spoiler sections, and I've tried to be even-handed in a not-spoiler reviews, so if you want that, just go to them. Yeah, let's just go to it. The plot is a complete and utter mess from the very beginning to the very end. The title crawl is insane because it just says, "The dead speak." So Palpatine is back, and unlike before, for whatever reason, he actually telegraphs he's coming. The first minutes have Kylo get to him. We see Snoke in the background, or Snokes. So apparently he's been cloning people. There's a bunch of acolytes and followers, but we never really see them or meet them or understand what their story is. But that presumably explains the Emperor. He somehow was saved and has been hanging on to life, because he looks, from a visual standpoint, looks amazing. He's sort of like this weird zombified version. He needs mechanical means to stay alive. But then it gets bad. The set of itself of where Palpatine is amazing. It looks great, but when the dialogue starts, it starts to really just go downhill really, really quickly. So the way Palpatine seems to say it, he wants Kylo to kill Rey. If he kills Rey, he will get this huge zombie fleet that he's able to conjure up out of nowhere. How the zombie fleet works is not clear. Do the acolytes man the ships themselves? And they're apparently equipped with Death Star technology, these lasers that can destroy entire planets. It's like, it's unreal, because with the trailer you thought that all these ships were at the end, but they actually come up right at the beginning. How he does this, or how he has this power, is unclear. And what the bargain is also not making a lot of sense. Like, why would Kylo need the fleet? The First Order almost defeated the rebellion. But again, logic problems just keep compiling. So we get to Rey, and she's been doing a lot of training with Leia, and you understand they have to be sensitive with Carrie's death, but it's really too much. Apparently she's been studying this Jedi text that Luke gave her. That and the training that happens for just a short while. You see a lot of it already in the trailer. She's apparently got whole new abilities. She can fly, she can heal, she can transport objects, and the ability of Kylo and her to speak to one another has advanced to where they're in each other's kind of space. And what's strange is that the side plot has Poe, Finn, and Chewbacca get information that the Emperor is alive, even though the title crawl already said he's alive. So we spend kind of 10 minutes on this pointless sequence, although the light skipping that occurs where Poe just is able to use hyperspace in a new way is interesting, but they never get back to it. And that's kind of like the whole film. They set up some interesting ideas, but they never get back to it. They just forget about it. They contradict The Last Jedi, of course. I mean, this film is just overwhelmingly a complete negation of The Last Jedi, but they actually forget the rules they set up in TFA. Those are just completely abandoned. They completely retcon Rey's origin, go back on what Snow's purpose is. It's just, everything is just, it's just completely wrong. The Palpatine was just manipulating everything. And again, from the prequels, that's possible, but we're never given motivation or what his plan is, and it actually changes midway. So essentially it splits into two. Rey goes on this quest to find items that will get her to Palpatine and Kylo with the Knights of Ren. Yeah, they finally show up. He goes after her. There is this one great sequence where I'm not kidding, this mutant monkey puts Kylo's helmet back together. The helmet looks incredible, and I thought that sequence, even though it's very small, was amazing. And that's kind of like the whole film in a miniature. There's a lot of little amazing moments, emotional moments, special effects moments, but it's not enough. Too much of the film is just ungainly, illogical. Plot contrivances and plot holes are everywhere. So Rey goes to a desert planet, and they find out apparently through Lando that Luke and him were chasing down a Jedi hunter, and they need a Sith dagger. I'm going to do some more videos to be more precise, because I want to give it a chance, but it's really, really, really dumb. And basically the punchline is Kylo goes to confront her, and you see this in the trailer, and you're wondering, like, well, what's the point of that? And apparently Kylo wants to test her abilities, and she does something where you think for a while she kills Chewbacca with lightning, because lightning is a Sith power, and she's really angry throughout the film, and that's a lot like the Sith. And the film just keeps compiling all this stuff. I mean, it's just like they clearly don't even know the source material. They're just begging the question: do they understand how the Sith work? Where's the rule of two? Does the Emperor have an apprentice anymore? Has that been totally abandoned? And okay, she does force lightning. You're like, okay, what does that mean? And it's all sort of a setup for Kylo to reveal, you are the Emperor's granddaughter, but we are a dyad in the Force, and we will. It's just like, what? First, what is this dyad thing? It doesn't. I will say that Adam Driver does sell a lot of these lines, but they still sound stupid. They don't make any sense. And even if they did make sense, okay, she's the granddaughter. People are joking about, well, how did this is actually not that hard. If you pay attention to the prequels, it's actually implied there all along. That's not the issue, how he has a family. It's like, okay, you're the granddaughter. But what was the plan? Why were you on Jakku? I mean, it was just like, they make this thing that her parents abandoned her on Jakku to save her, but you're still left with the first question with TFA. Like, how is this little girl surviving all alone on this planet? And what was the plan? They were just going to get back to her? I mean, it was just like, obviously this is not what they set up. This is not at all what the story implied. They just threw in Palpatine. They're adding this revelation of Rey, and she's supposed to be Sith, but she doesn't look like a Sith. She doesn't even act like a Sith. And they just go back always to like her looking in the sacred Jedi text and Luke's notes. But that's not in The Last Jedi. Luke is not touching the books. He's not writing in the book. So it's like, and as much as it hates The Last Jedi, they do refer to a ton of material which they assume is canonical, and they use that, but everything else is just thrown away. So of course Luke shows up. He completely repudiates what he says in The Last Jedi, saying, oh, no, I didn't mean it when I threw away the weapon. Don't take me so seriously. And Rey is like, yes, I understand now. And it's sincere, but when Mark Hamill says, it is the destiny of a Jedi to face the fear. And you kind of forget, well, he ran away, Yoda quit, Obi-Wan went into exile. It's like, none of this is hanging together with the saga. None of it's like an epiphany. None of it makes any sense. I mean, again, it's a powerful moment. I mean, you do see classical Luke. He raises the X-Wing. And it's interesting, when you do think about it, there are like certain little bits and pieces they throw in. For instance, he raises the X-Wing sort of like Palpatine raises the zombie fleet. So there are these neat little parallels and dualities, and obviously Kylo and Rey, and then Finn and Poe, but they never really sustain it. It's never really coherent. There's no theme. I mean, they say two themes, like, don't be afraid of what you are, and they're trying to convince you you're just one person. And they just repeat this dialogue over and over and over again, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just like, we're still left the question, well, how are you going to fight the First Order? Why is her being the granddaughter even matter? What is all of this adding up to? But the transitions and cutting and everything is just so quick. And people criticize, well, they're not spending enough time. No, they spend enough time on the scenes. That's not the problem. The problem is they're not constructed well. I mean, the scenes are just perfunctory. It's sort of like, okay, we go here, then we go here, then we go here, then we go here, then we go here, and we go here, and we're always safe. Like, nobody's in danger. No harm is going to come to the heroes. We just got to go here, to go here, to go here, to go here, to go here. And it really is like that. It's just schizophrenia in terms of the plot. It's like, but why are they running all over the place? I mean, it's just that they're just trying to avoid this big vacuum, which is like, okay, the Emperor's back, but what? Like, none of these people know the Emperor. One person, I swear to God, one of the characters, very early one, he just gives out a dozen explanations. Oh, it's dark Sith magic. Oh, it's cloning. Oh, it's it's this. Like, first you think to yourself, how in the world does this person even know this? Like, how are they making these speculations? Second of all, it doesn't eliminate the obvious fact. None of these people know the Emperor. So why are they afraid? Why are they panicking? They don't know Luke. You know, just 2 movies ago, they didn't know who Luke was. How do they know who the Emperor is? So the movie just fails at the first level. It's like, you know, you got to build this up. And instead, it's like, well, he's back and we got to move against him. But Rey's like, I'm afraid of my own dark power. It's like, what? Like, huh? What? But what do you know about the Emperor? It's acting way too much like the characters are outside the movie and they know our knowledge. And okay, well, you know what's going on. We know what's going on. So we're just going to, you know, go very quickly to the end. Does it make any sense? Do motivations matter? No, we're just going to go there. And you're like, okay, but why are we going there again? It's just thoroughly confused. It's not a bad movie, but it's just confusing. It's just confusing, and more confusing. And the ending is just either going to be extremely offensive to most people or just be like, what is this? What does it even mean? I mean, she calls herself Rey Skywalker, but it's like, why are you calling yourself Rey Skywalker? I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's like you wonder, like, you really are scratching your head. Like, that's what all this thing was for? Where's this going? Why are you doing this? What was accomplished? It's just empty. It's just an extremely empty exercise all the way through. Still, there are some interesting moments, and you know, you want to review them because it's like showing the potential of what the picture could have been, but it's thoroughly disappointing.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!